evening, everyone. Welcome back to Exclusive Modest. Hope you have a wonderful day. Today's episode is going to be on how to cut two pieces dress, which is top and skirt. So I'll be using this fabric for the skirt. This is 2 yards, and I'm using this fabric for the top. This is 1.5 yards. So the first thing I'll be cutting out here is the skirt. You can make it a straight skirt. You can also make it an A-line skirt. It depends on how you want it, but what I will be cutting out here is like an A-line. It won't be that firm like a straight skirt. No, when you're cutting out a straight skirt, if you don't want it to have a slit at the back, that means you won't let it to be too long. But if you want a straight skirt to be long, then you have to slit it at the back. But here I want to make a skirt that will be an A-line skirt. It's not going to have slits and it will be long. So, and it has a suspender at the front to the back. You can see it. So the first thing I'll be doing here is to fold it into 2, then into 4. This is into 2 first, you can see, then into 4, like this. So folding it into 4 like this, I'm leaving zip allowance at the back. You can see it. This is my zip allowance at the back. So the next thing to do is to take 2 inches up. These 2 inches that I'm taking up is for the band. This particular one, you can fold it equally without putting zip, but just make sure the wideness of the waist is going to be wide enough to put elastic over, so that by the time you are wearing it, it will enter freely without zip. So you can also cut it like that. But here I'm going to put zip. That's why I'm leaving my zip allowance at the back. So the first thing I will be doing here is the waist measurement. The waist measurement of 28 inches. This is my 28 inches. 7 in 4 places is going to give us 28. You can see. Then I'll be adding 2 inches of seam allowance to it. This is the 2 inches of seam allowance, you can see. So from here, I'm going to take my hip point, the hip point of 9 inches. You know, I said we're going to cut out an A-shaped skirt, but we still have to determine the wideness of the hip. Before you can slant down, you have to know the wideness of the hip. So the wideness of the hip is 40. This is 40 inches for the hip. The seam allowance of 2 inches. Then I'm taking 2 inches off for the band. You can see. Then I'm going to take the length of the skirt to be 47 inches. That is with the seam allowance. This is my 47 inches. Then from here, I can now make my slant line to the length of the skirt, like this. You can see. You can see now. So the next thing is for me to cut it out. You cannot see the shape of the skirt now. You can see it's not fitted. You'll be able to walk freely and you won't slit it at the back. You can see how the shape is. You can as well put a dart at the upper part here if you like. You can put a dart, and the dart is distance of the 2 busts, which is 7 inches. This is 3.5. You know, it's been folded into 2. The front is being folded into 2 and the back is also folded into 2, making into 4. So that is why we are making use of 3.5 inches. So you can now slit it to know where the measurement, you can notch it to know where the measurement is. You can see. So we are done with the skirt. It remains the band and the suspender. So to take the wideness of the suspender, I'll be making use of 4 inches. This is 4 inches. You know, when I folded it into 2, it's going to give me 4 inches. When I'm using 8, so I'll be making use of 8. By the time I fold it into 2, by the time it's been folded into 2, it will be 4 inches. So that 4 inches, I'll be minusing ½ inch for the seam allowance. So what will be left with is 3.5 inches. So the actual length, the actual wideness that I want for my suspender is 3.5 inches. So make sure if you are taking any measurement, make sure you are considering the seam allowance. This is the wideness of the suspender. You can see this is 8 inches. When I fold it into 2, it's going to give me 4 inches. Then I'll stitch it with ½ inch. I'll be left with 3.5 inches. The wideness that I need is 3.5 inches. And the length of the suspender is 30 inches. You can see this is 30 inches here. It's a draw fabric, so it will be firm when I attach it finished. So if you want to take the measurement of this suspender, the length, and how to take it, I'm going to show you on the finishing work. So this is the band of 5 inches. You can see the band is 5 inches. You can see by the time I fold it into 2, it will be 2.5 inches. The ½ inch is going for the seam allowance. Then what I need here is 2 inches. And the length of the band is the wideness of the waist, which is 28 inches plus 4 inches to give me 32 inches. You know, when I took 7 inches for the band, then I added 2 inches to it. So 2 inches in 2 places is 4, plus that 7 inches in 4 places is going to give us 28 inches. 28 inches plus that 4 inches is going to give us 32 inches. And this is 32 inches that I cut out. So the next thing to cut now is the top. Cut out the top. I'm folding this into 2 already. You can see this is now into 4. The first thing I will be doing here is the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement of 7.5 inches. And here is it. This is my 7.5 inches. Then I'll be making use of slant of 1 inch. You can see the shoulder slant. From the shoulder slant, I'll be taking 7.5 inches down for the armhole. The half length is 15.5 inches. The bust measurement is 38 inches. That's 9.5 inches in 4 places. It's going to give us 38 inches. The seam allowance of 2 inches. You can see. And this is 30 inches for the waist. It's not fitted, with a seam allowance of 1.5 inches. Then I'll be connecting the lines together. From here, I'll take it a slant line to the length of the top. So from here now, I'll be taking the length of the top, which is 24 inches. You can see I'm going to add ½ inch to it to make it 25 inches. That is with the seam allowance. Then here I'll be taking 2 inches up. This is where it reaches. This area is not equal with it, so I'm starting from here, 2 inches, just to give it a nice shape. I can use my free hand to do it also, just to give it a nice shape. You can see. So from here, I'm going to slant it off to the neckline, to the center of the both black and front neck. You can see. Then here, I'll be making use of 2.5 inches for the wideness of the neck. 2.5 inches for the wideness of the neck. Then the deepness, I'll be making use of 2 inches for the front, then I'll be using 3 inches for the back. I'm going to connect them together, you can see. Then here too, I'm connecting it up like this. So the next thing is to cut it out. You can see I'm going to take the front out, then I'll be adding 1 inch for the deepness to 3 inches, you can see. Then from here I'm going to cuff it up, you can see. Then the center here is going to have a slit at the back. So then I'm going to lower it down with 4 inches. This is 4 inches, you can see that I'll slit it down. That is where the slit is going to be. Then I'll add my loop, then put the button, you can see. This is now the back, and this is the front. So the next thing is to cut the sleeve. The sleeve, I'll be folding this fabric into 2. The sleeve has 2 steps. It's like an A-line sleeve joining to that straight sleeve. So the length of the straight sleeve will be 18 inches. This is my 18 inches. Then I'm going to take 4 inches. From this 4 inches, I'm going to make a sketch to give me the shape of the sleeve. You can see the way I do it. Then the wideness of the sleeve is going to be here, which I'll be using 8 inches for the wideness. That's 16 inches there. Then here I'll be making use of 5 inches. That's the roundness will be 10. Then from here to here I'll be connecting them together. You can see. Then I cannot cut. Then I'm going to notch this center to know the center of the sleeve. Then this aside, I'll be folding a line shape down now to complete the sleeve length. Then it's going to be like this. To complete the sleeve, the roundness of this area, this is the area we're going to join the sleeve, is what? Is 5 inches. So we're going to use the 5 inches here. The 5 inches will be here. You can see this is the 5 inches. Then the next thing is the length of the sleeve to complete this. Is the length of the flare to complete the sleeve. This is 8. This is 9 with the same allowance. 9 inches. 9 inches. You can see. This is 9 inches. Then I'm going to connect them and cut. I'm going to cut it out. So you can see this is now the one at the down part, the flare sleeve to complete the sleeve. You can see it now. So the next thing is go and join everything together and show them to you. This is how the sleeve is going to be. You can see it now. So let me go and join it and show it to you. Welcome back. This is after joining all the cuttings together. You can see it. This is the band, then this is the suspender. You can see this is the inner. You can see the joining of the small flake that I've done to it. This is the neckline. You can see the neckline. It's going to have a button at the back. You can see the band. I cut out 5 inches. I folded it into 2.5 inches, then half inch is going for the seam allowance, 2 inches is going for the band. And this is the suspender. You can see I stitched it in with half inch, and this is the remaining wideness. So the distance, to get the distance now, is now 2.9. If you want to get the distance, you take out the middle of the skirt, then you fold it into 2, you notch it, then you take your wideness of where you want to put your suspender to. Then I took 3 inches. By the time I placed it, that's why it's decreased to 2.9 inches with some allowance. You can see now. So this is the way. It depends on the wideness you want to. You can make it 4 inches, you can make it 5. Depending on how wide you want this area to be. But I make it so 3 inches, and this, see how it turns out. You can see it's very beautiful. This is the back as well. You can see there's going to be a zip at the back here, as you can see. You can see the skirt is not a full flake. You can see it's an A-line. It's not tight, it's not a footed, so you can work freely with this cutting. If you are watching for the first time, please, at the end of this tutorial, make sure you subscribe to it. And for those people that already subscribed, I really appreciate you guys for watching my video always. And also on your notification bell, so that whenever I upload any tutorial, you'll be notified. See you in my next class. Assalamu alaikum.